إنما يخشى الله من عباده العلماء إن الله عزيز غفور صدق الله العظيم. For those who were not here in the last 4 or 5 days, I just want to remind you the base of the topic that we are talking about, and that is the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in which Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, this iman gets old in the person's heart like an old piece of rag that fades away, loses its color, and it starts ripping off from different places. This is how iman gets old and it fades away from the heart. So therefore, keep your iman alive and keep it fresh. If we don't keep it alive, we don't keep it fresh, it keeps on dying inside. This is why Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he mentioned the person who remembers Allah and the one who does not remember Allah. He said, كَمَثَلِ الْحَيِّ وَالْمَيِّتِ. It's just like a living and a dead person. Is there anything that we can say that any way that a person will say dead body is just like a living being? Dead body is a burden on people. They will have to bury it as soon as possible. You don't bury it, it's going to smell. It's going to be rotten. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says a person who does not do the dhikr of Allah, does not remember Allah, he's a dead person. He's a rotten body that's walking around. It spoils everything else also around it. You need to get rid of it. And that is the bad company, getting rid of it. We'll talk about it inshallah. So basically that's the foundation of what we are talking about, keeping our iman alive and keeping it fresh. We mentioned two things in that regard. Number one, dua, and we said dua simply means is also a concern of keeping it alive. Dua is a sign of a concern. So basically having that worry of how is my iman? Is my iman alive? Is my iman fresh? Is my iman strong or not? It's a worry that has to be there. This is what was making Sahaba worry about, am I a munafiq? Because I know I'm a believer, but am I doing enough to keep my iman alive? Or my iman is dying inside me? If a Sahabi can worry about it, how much we need to worry about it? So first thing we said dua, the second thing we said dhikrullah. Abundance, remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Remembering Allah in abundance, kathira, all the time. The third thing that is very, very important to keep our iman alive and keep it fresh is our connection with the knowledge of deen. This is very important for us to understand that we need a constant connection with ilm, with the knowledge, which is something that is totally neglected in our time, and unfortunately we consider our time to be the time of knowledge. And so many people in fact come to the point where I think we know better than all the imams of the past, because they didn't have access to the computers. And now the knowledge is on the tip of my finger. It could be on the tip of your finger, but it's not in your heart, it's not in your mind. It's a reality. Knowledge did not sink in. We didn't get knowledge. We just left it in the computers and we are satisfied. I have the full Quran in my phone, I'm happy about it. But people in the past, the Quran was in their hearts, not in their phones. Their knowledge was in their hearts, in their mind, and in their practice. They preserved their knowledge through their practice. But now, no knowledge and no practice. Knowledge is going to die. And if knowledge will die, if the knowledge of the deen will die, what's going to happen to the deen? The deen will die. Simple example. If you want to close down all the hospitals in the next generation, one way is to go and fight and have a war against all the hospitals, try to stop all the doctors from going to the hospital, and we are not going to let you get in, and we are going to be at the door, and we will not let anyone come in. That's one way, and that's the difficult way. The easy way is just stop the department of medicine in the university. In the next generation, there will be no doctors, so hospitals will close by themselves. As simple as that. You don't need to fight. Just stop that education. This is why there was a very talented poet in subcontinent, Akbar Muradabadi. He said an amazing poem about Fir'aun killing all the boys from Bani Israel. That Fir'aun, when he was afraid of the next generation of Bani Israel, that they may take over, so he said, let's kill all the boys. That's the resolution he came up with. Akbar Muradabadi says, अफसोस के फ़िरऔन को कॉलेज की न सूझी. अफसोस के फ़िरऔन को कॉलेज की न सूझी. यूं कत्ल के, something like, anyone remembers? Which means that Fir'aun was not too intelligent when he started killing the boys. There was no need to kill and get the blame of killing so many people. He could have opened a college and just brainwash them through the college, which means the thing that we see nowadays. So, when the knowledge is gone, that field is gone. And this is why every fitna that starts in the world, regardless of where this fitna is starting within Muslims, wherever that fitna may be, the first thing that person who starts a fitna will say, don't listen to these mullahs. Why? Because if you listen to the ulama, you will get the right knowledge, you will know that I am a fitna. So don't listen to these mullahs, they don't know anything. Subhanallah. It's just like a person like me. I start giving you medications and I said, don't listen to no doctor. Don't even sit with them. Don't listen to any doctor. But I know if you listen to the doctor, he will tell you, this is not a medicine. But for me to be able to sell my medicine, my tablet, I have to disconnect you from the real doctors. So they disconnect you from the true ulama of deen. What does ulama means? People who carry the knowledge of deen. When they disconnect you from those people, then they can sell their tablets now. Not everyone will buy their tablet. And this is what's happening. Disconnection from the knowledge is destroying our deen. And what's our connection with the knowledge? Subhanallah. Most of us in our time is not that we have a knowledge. We have confusion more than knowledge. Is the age of confusion, is not the age of knowledge. Because there is so much information there, you don't even know what's right and what's wrong. And people are sitting there just to mix up all the right and wrong. Haqq and batil is all being mixed up. What is the worst fitna that will come in the world? Prophet ﷺ told us, Dajjal. What is the fitna of Dajjal? What is the fitna of Dajjal? Is Dajjal. Dajjal means deception, mixing up the right and wrong, mixing up the truth and falsehood in a way that a person will not be able to tell what's right and what's wrong. You fill up blood in the bottle of perfume. The person will spray it on himself. This is mixed up. And this is the age that we are living in, where everything is mixed up. Our last generation, a person who would come before Jum'ah and will pray his sunnahs, you try to tell him anything, you can't stop him from praying his sunnah. And now no one wants to pray the sunnah. There was a WhatsApp message. Someone said, this is bid'ah, this is not sunnah. That's it. Gone. Everything now is mixed up. You heard so many opinions about everything that you are practicing. You're not even sure if what I'm doing is right or not. In the past generation, really, people were so firm in their knowledge that you can't really confuse them about anything. But now, it's all confusion. Why? We haven't learned it properly. We haven't learned it from right source. People confuse us about Quran, people confuse us about Hadith. A person will open an ayah of Quran and say, look, this is in Quran. Where are you getting that meaning from? From his own pocket. Or it's in the Hadith. And we get impressed also. Oh, he showed me a Hadith. Was that the only Hadith about the topic? I remember once a person, we were discussing one of the rulings of Salah. And a person came with a book. He said to me, read this book. This will give you a proof against what you're saying. So I asked him a simple question. I said, okay, I'll take the book. But does this book have all the ahadith about Salah, or just the ones that this author chose for himself and then he's telling people that this is the only way? If you bring me this small of a book with 200 pages and tell me this is everything about Salah, then you are trying to cheat me. I have 300 pages in Bukhari, then I have 500 pages in Muslim, and then I have 300 pages in Tirmizi, and then you go through all the books of hadith. Out of all those, this person selects few hadiths and he tries to convince us this is everything, and you take the book and you feel, oh yes, this is it. I read this hadith. You know, you read only one, but there are 10 more about the topic you don't know about. So it's the age of confusion. We need to learn. We need to be connected to ilm, to knowledge. And this is not something that I can learn occasionally, and is not something that I can learn just from messages, from different posts, from the box of cereal. You know, on the other side of the box there is word of wisdom. Okay, I got my knowledge today. This is not knowledge. This is jahala. This is worse jahala. You know what a scholar call this? They call it al-jahlul murakkab. Is the double ignorance, as I think it was Ali radiallahu anhu said, إِنَّمَا النَّاسُ أَرْبَعَ. There are 4 types of people. رَجُلٌ يَدْرِي وَيَدْرِي أَنَّهُ يَدْرِي. There is a person who knows, and he realizes, he understands that I know, he learned it properly. فَذَلِكَ عَالِمٌ فَسَأَلُوهُ. Is a knowledgeable person. Ask him whatever you need to ask about. وَرَجُلٌ يَدْرِي وَلَا يَدْرِي أَنَّهُ يَدْرِي. A person who's knowledgeable, but he doesn't know that he's knowledgeable, which means he's sleeping. He learned, and then he gave up his knowledge, and is doing something else. فَذَلِكَ نَائِمٌ فَيْخُذُوهُ. He's sleeping, wake him up. Brother, we need your knowledge, come back. You learned all of this, became an alim, and now you're running a store, come back. He's sleeping, wake him up. وَرَجُلٌ يَدْرِي وَيَدْرِي أَنَّهُ لَا يَدْرِي. A person who knows, who doesn't know, doesn't have no knowledge, and he realizes that he doesn't have a knowledge. So, فَذَلِكَ جَاهِلٌ فَعَلِّمُوهُ. He's ignorant, teach him. He realizes, I don't know. So he said, okay, I don't know. وَرَجُلٌ لَا يَدْرِي وَلَا يَدْرِي أَنَّهُ لَا يَدْرِي. And a person doesn't know, but he doesn't even know that he doesn't know. That's all the people of our time. Every person is born mufti by birth. Everyone is mufti. Get into any gathering and just throw a mas'ala of sharia. Everyone has an opinion. Put up something about medicine, they will say, I'm not a doctor. About foundation of the building, about heating system, no, that's not my field. But about sharia, everyone is, mashallah, everyone has an opinion. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sitting in the masjid, educating Sahaba, teaching them. 3 people came. One person, he performed the 2 rak'ahs, then he came and he sat at the end of the gathering. He came and joined the gathering. The second person, after he finished his 2 rak'ahs, he came, he saw there was some opening in between, he came and sat there. The third person performed 2 rak'ah and he left. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, أَلَا أُخْبِرُكُمْ عَنِ النَّفَرِ الثَّلَاثَةِ. Should I inform you about these 3 people? One of them, استحيا فاستحيا الله منه. He was shy to leave. He said at the end, he looked around, he said, he wanted to leave, but okay, no, it's not good. There is a knowledge being shared here. Let me just sit. He came, he was shy, فاستحيا. Allah was shy to keep him empty-handed. Allah gave him something. وَأَمَّا الْآخَرْ فَآوَى فَآوَاهُ اللَّهُ. The other person, he looked for refuge, for a protection, for a place. He came, he found a good place for himself and he sat over there to learn. So Allah gave him a place in Deen through the knowledge that he came to learn. And the third person, فَأَعْرَضَ فَأَعْرَضَ اللَّهُ عَنْهُ. He turned away from the knowledge, Allah turned everything away from him. This is knowledge. He turned away, Allah turned everything from him. And this is what's happening. No time to learn anything. And even the time that we learn, we are learning from sources that are unreliable. You know what is unique about our deen? Is the authenticity of this deen and reliability of this deen. This is the unique part about our deen. We say we have changed for all the hadiths, but now everything is going away. In the past, there was no way a person will narrate a hadith without a chain of narrator. They will ask him, what's the chain? There is no way someone will come and educate people without knowing who his teachers are. They used to ask him, who are your teachers first? Some time back, I think I mentioned that in the countries that are in African side, Arab countries that are known as Arab countries in the African side, Morocco and Algeria and those countries, there was a rule. A person used to be called muhtasib. There is 2 types of muhtasib. Muhtasib is government used to have a person that will take around the town to make sure that everything is happening according to the Sharia. People are not opposing Sharia in any way. Time of Salah, stores are closed. People will go for Salah. They don't just keep on having business during the time of Salah. No haram is going on in the marketplaces. So they will just take rounds, make sure things are in accordance with the Sharia. No one is breaking the law of the Sharia. There was another muhtasib in those countries. That muhtasib was to go around in the masajid and just check if anyone is giving a talk and lecture and educating people. So if they see someone in any masjid that gives talks, they will go and approach him. What's your isnad? Who did you learn everything from? So if this person has teachers that he learned from, and he will be able to refer to them, these are my teachers, these are the ones that I learned from. As I said, normal tradition in the past, whenever a alim goes to another place, who are the teachers that you learned from? That will be the first question. No teacher, go back home. So they used to have that muhtasib, will go to the masajid, someone is giving a lecture, okay. Who are your teachers? Who did you learn from? What are the books that you studied? He has to give whole detail of the books that he studied from who, and who are his teachers who taught him these books. If he has that, okay, from the government, we will assign a seat for you. You see in the Haram of Medina, there are a lot of seats, different places. Those were the type of seats. We will put a seat for you. One seat here, one seat here, one seat there, one seat. So this seat belongs to this scholar, that seat belongs to that scholar. We'll give you a seat, you sit there and you teach people. MashaAllah, perfect. No sanad. You don't know who your teachers are. Okay, that's fine. We won't stop you from giving nasiha. If you have studied something, you learned something, give nasiha, but don't sit, stand up. So when a person comes in and he sees a person giving a lecture standing up, don't ask him question. He's not a alim. That was the normal tradition. But now, any speaker comes, we have a question for you. Is riba halal or haram? Buying the first half of home on the mortgage, halal or haram? He says haram, okay, go out, I'll look for the next one. Normal questions, same question. You ask every scholar that comes, 5 questions. That's it. Everyone will ask the same question, waiting for that person that will say it's halal. So knowledge is very important, connection with the knowledge, learning the right thing and learning it. This was the unique thing about our deen, the authenticity of our deen. Now authenticity is going, no one knows where are we learning it from. Who did I learn it from? Any book that I studied? I don't know any books. I just heard it from hearsay. Everything that I know is hearsay. So there has to be a solid foundation in ilm also. Remember, this is a protection of our deen and iman. Really, without it, people are losing it altogether. I meet so many people. They're so confused about deen. And they think that I know what I'm doing, I know what I'm saying. Really, it's extremely confused, and the things he's saying may throw him out of Islam. These are the words that he's uttering that will throw him out of Islam. But he feels, I know exactly what I'm talking, and no one else in the world understands what I'm talking about. This is the ignorance. May Allah protect us from that ignorance. So connection with knowledge is very, very important. This is only a reminder that we need to do whatever we have to do so that we keep our constant connection with the knowledge. Learn something. Learn something. Learn one hadith. Learn one ayah. Learn something from Quran. Learn something from hadith. Learn from something from all the knowledge that scholars have written for us and left thousands and thousands of books. We have the largest libraries in the world for the Islamic sciences, but we read the least. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala connect us to this knowledge and keep our iman always strong and fresh through the knowledge of this deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wa sallallahu ta'ala ala khayri khalqihi. Sayyidina wa nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Walhamdulillahi rabbil